It's almost been 40 years since the handheld wars begun, and I'm going to tell you who won it hands down. Guys, everyone asks me, where do you start with vintage video games? Everyone thinks you start with Atari, Nintendo. I tell everyone, start with handhelds. Handhelds are the easiest to buy, the easiest to fix, and they're one of the best sources for turnaround. I sell at least 5 handhelds for every 1 console that I sell in this store. Handhelds are king, and they're small and cheap, so you can always get them from the open market, but you can't always get them when you need them. So you need to buy broken ones, you need to buy ones that are not as clean as you would like. Wait around, keep that as your backup inventory. But right here is the king of all of our handhelds. We have all of the best stuff here. Pokemon is king in the handheld. Every one of the Pokemon games are one of the best things that you could buy for your inventory, but you can't get them cheap all the time. So always buy them, raise your threshold from buying them, but you also want to have a very good diversity of the different handheld games. But you can't just rely on Pokemon for all of your handhelds. You have to have a great diversity of all the different handhelds. So let's go with what you have to do. Game Boy. Game Boy was one of the most sturdiest systems. They rarely break, and when they do, they're easy to take apart and fix. Usually 2 to 3 Game Boys equal 1 to 2 perfectly working Game Boys. Then you graduate to Game Boy Color. These things have so many different variations that there are a lot of collectors that want every single color of the rainbow of Game Boy Color. I suggest buying every Game Boy Color because you can play all the black and white games and you get all of the Game Boy Color games. Same thing with Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance has lots of color variations in it and everybody wants them. The best part about all 3 of these systems, you can usually get them for under $100 for most of them, and they always sell for between $95 and $125. You want to buy them from the $40 to $60 range, and then you get $90 to $120 for these things. It's a really good turnaround, but the point is you're buying it to have the systems, and that helps you sell the games. Once you have all your Game Boys, you need to start putting some money into DSs. This is the Nintendo DS. This was the system that Game Boy transferred to. It actually plays Game Boy Advance in the bottom and Nintendo DS in the top. It's one of the most versatile systems, and it's probably one of our bigger sellers above Game Boy. You can see we sell this one for $95. I probably paid between $45 and $55 for it. And you have to have these in stock because they help you sell the games as well. But then you get to the 3DS. Everybody thought the 3DS was dead. They all put their money in Switch and they thought, dump all these. I bought so many of these 3DSs during the time for really cheap, and then all of a sudden they started coming back. Guys, a 3DS sells for over $200. The games are iconic for the 3DS, and that's why people want to own them now. And the color schemes are really unique, and people want to collect all the different colors. But guys, just as I said, 3DSs were popular, and everyone thought the Switch was going to die when the Switch 2 came out, they started selling the Switches to us really cheap. So I bought a lot of those. And guess what? After the Switch 2 performed less than what was expected, everybody started coming back to the original Switch. It's the cycle of the handheld. Every time somebody thinks something is going to die, they sell it off cheap. You have to be available to buy it cheap when they are selling so that you have it when everybody comes back around to it. So far, I have watched every one of these systems for the last 21 years be declared dead, buy them cheap, and then guess what? Everybody wants them for the nostalgia craze. You cannot ignore the nostalgia craze of reliving your childhood in the palm of your hand. Guys, the formula is so easy. It's almost better than GameStop. We buy it 2 for 1. You give us 2 games and you get 1. So it's a 50% buy-in in store credit. Normally, if it's a cheap game, I only give you 25 cents on the dollar in cash. If it's a better game, like a Pokemon game, you can get up to 50 to 60% of the value of that game. Guys, I've explained this to you because I know you can do it just like I do it. And I want you to learn how to do it so you can do it even better than me. I'm Dennis Barger, owner of Dystopia Vintage Video Game Store, celebrating the past and living for the future.